Hello guys, goedenavond, good evening, good morning, good day. Today has indeed been a pretty good day. $1,000 day, depending on the close. As when we close right now, it's not. But it's a FOMO move into the halving and actually a great move. So what we're going to discuss is what's next and what's next for the altcoins. I wanted to do a video on commodities today, but Bitcoin says sorry, I can't do that today. Then okay, then we just discuss crypto again. Like okay, fine. But we're going to discuss what's up next and what we can expect. Overall, the scenario is still fine. We've been discussing this yesterday, in which we stated that as long as Bitcoin held the 7.6 level for support, we could assume a breakout up, and there the grind started and the breakout occurred. Thought we would hit 8.485, as that's the next resistance level. As you can see here, we actually moved a little bit further. I even touched 8.8. And right now it's ready for a consolidation and correction. And the general question occurs is that when this happens, you see I see my engagement and my views going up on social media, which is great, obviously, but it's not the time to be buying Bitcoin. I mean, if you're not new into the market, you wait for a retracement and for a good trade to start on. If you have for the support to buy into, like for instance, you can see many occasions here in which I have to put the magnet off. You see a surge and then it comes back down for consolidation, and then you have the opportunity to buy. If you see these green candles like this, there's no real opportunity to buy, so I'll just be waiting. And I get that you have emotions and that you want to buy, but you shouldn't be doing it when everything is just mooning like this. You should be searching for shorts. However, when such a large move occurs, it's also just the best to just wait it out if you don't have a position or TP on your longs, and not go too crazy on the shorts unless there's a clear signal of a downturn. So that's what I wanted to say at first, and then we're going to discuss what's next. In which we just broke 8.485. It's still depending on the daily close. I mean, if we're gonna close below 8.4 and a retest of 8k, wouldn't be surprised. We discussed the scenarios. The large time frame scenario is still pretty much the same, and I've figured it out a little bit longer time frame, or at least a wider spread. But this move going into the halving could be a FOMO move of the halving, or pre-pump halving, whatever you call it, in which 9k to 9.2 is pretty much the resistance level that I'd be watching. This whole zone, 9 to 9.3, this is the whole zone that I'd be watching for serious resistance, and I've been pointing out here, as there's a few arguments lying up to this resistance here as well, which is there's a horizontal resistance zone. As you can see, we just broke above one, and we cleared another resistance level, which is a little bit less significant, so 9k is the one to watch. If we add this with the other narrative, which is the CME gap, you can see that there's still a gap to be closed around 9,055, which makes my general scenario, and you have to be taking this with a little portion of salt, as it's still moving pretty heavy given the RSI, which is pretty high right now. Not a guarantee that we're turning down, but it could be that we've seen a blow off top temporary, as we just saw a very fast wake up, is that I'm going to expect a downturn to like 181, 82, one more push to 993 to close the gap, and then don't go to 5k, but then we get the retrace towards 668, 64, confluent with what I'm thinking here. is that we top out just before the halving, and then we start a retrace, the final retrace, and then we start the bull market. Make the higher low, start the bull market, preferably with a 200 week MA test. This is still my main scenario, in which I'm going to look for shorts in the higher range. Yes, we can still continue mooning. It's Bitcoin, so we don't know anything for sure, but this is my main scenario right now. If we clear 993, then I'm watching 10.5, 10.8, and there's also some CME gaps over there. But we just have to take it with the level and with the strength of the move, as you can see. As we just broke 8.4 as well, which I was less expecting to see happening. So if we zoom this in, we see that we have seen a pretty strong move, and there's a very, very high RSI, in which such a move as this has to come down. And then there's the level at 8.4 you should be watching. There's a level at 8.1.5 to be watching, and 8K. So if you point to these levels, you could assume that we get a retrace towards either of the three levels over here, preferably this one, and then one more move towards 9K in the beginning of May, which confirms a bearish buy, a divergence, in which such a breakdown such a bearish divergence confirms a trend top, or a trend reversal to occur, especially when it gets to such a high level. The higher time frames are also pointing towards a very high RSI, which could indicate that we can get some retracement before one more push pre-halving, and then the retracement. Why? Buy the rumor, sell the news is usually what happens with these type of events, that retail and other traders buy into the event, expecting something big to happen from it, and that's causing a buyer's pressure on the asset. But then the real event occurs, and then people see that it's not really having any effect short term, and that the price is overpriced, or the asset is overpriced because of the event, and then the price just drops towards the level it normally should be and corrects, which I'm also expecting to see occur in going into this event. So this is still my main scenario for Bitcoin. Short term, I'm assuming that we might see a retrace going very soon in the next few days. Might go to 9K still to close the gap already. But if we go down, I'm assuming that we're going to see altcoins bounce up, as we're still trending up, and altcoins are doing pretty decent. I assume that the BTC pairs will bounce back up and altcoins have some more time to play. But once Bitcoin tops out, you should also be considering to decrease your sizing on altcoins, given that the retracement always comes together. And but the final dip after that is the great opportunity to buy alts and Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin stabilizes on a higher level, it's still fine to trade altcoins. So let's go towards Ether then. We have been discussing that one yesterday as well, and we've stated that we flipped the 190 level, and as long as we flip the 190 level, we can see further upwards moves. Well, we did. We rallied towards the resistance level, the resistance zone over here. I can remove this one. Actually, no, it's the whole range here, in which we are fighting right now. If we get a retrace, I'll be watching for like $200 for a long opportunity, or at least consolidation, and then we can have one more move towards 226, 235. Stated yesterday as well that if we hold the 190 level, and then you can see that the trend is still up, also showing some sort of overextension, which means that we're going to consolidate or maybe correct a little bit. And then the levels I've pointed out with Bitcoin are the same for Ether, which makes me believe that 203 is a level, 209 is a level, and 200 is a level to watch for potential longs. If you want to short here, yeah, it's fine, but like it's against the trend, so you should also always be cautious with that. If you watch the BTC pair, you can see that it has seen some pain due to the move of BTC. It's general. People sell their alts to get Bitcoin and get FOMO in that. And usually when you see the final push of Bitcoin going up, you see the wick on the altcoins BTC pairs, which we've now seen on Ether as well. I'm not too bearish on Ether BTC. As long as we hold 24.6 as support, we can see a further move towards 26.8 or 27.3. The moment we lose this one, it's showing weakness, and I'm only going to expect for or look for longs around 22.9. So as long as this is intact, you can just expect altcoins to just start searching some more. Then the bad boy Ripple. We hit a resistance over here, and when Bitcoin makes a large move, Ripple starts to cry. We see it happening here right now. The smaller time frames are showing that it's a little bit overextended to the downside. So the moment that Bitcoin retraces, you could assume that BTC starts to bounce back up. Also starting to show and hit some support levels very soon. Once this one bounces back up, I'm assuming that we're just going to follow through, and then I'm expecting the targets to still be hit. But that's what I've been saying on Twitter as well, is that if you want to take profit on altcoins, that's probably just fine. It's still a pretty fragile market, and when Bitcoin makes a big move, altcoins against BTC pairs usually see a sell-off. Once Bitcoin calms down, you can expect altcoins to start rallying some further. Ripple, same goes here, hit resistance level, expecting to see some more consolidation before we can see a further surge on this one. And then basic attention token, pretty nice bounce, and then it came back down all the way. We've seen the bounce here, but because of the strength of BTC USDT, it's coming back down. So same conclusion goes here. The once Bitcoin starts to consolidate, this one will probably bounce back up. Drops a little bit further than I expected it to be. I wanted to see support around 2300 satoshis. If we watch the USDT pair, you can see it's also facing resistance, but still showing strength after the bounce on 17.5 cents. I'm expecting this one to hold above at least 1835, and then expect a further upwards move. So my conclusion of this video, and small one, is that Bitcoin is showing massive strength right now. And the scenario is still standing the same. Could be a real blow off top happening over here, in which you see a pretty heavy retrace of a few $100. After that, the altcoins will just start to pop back up normally. Thank you, and I'll be back tomorrow.